Hi, I'm Erin Kirkpatrick. I'm from Shrewsbury, New Jersey. I'm 18 years old. Like what I study? Or...
Yeah, sure.
I study international relations and social anthropology.
Perfect. So I ask this to start my interviews every time, but what's your earliest memory?
Climbing out of my crib.
How old were you?
I was probably around, 1. But...
Oh, really?
Yeah, my brother and I were very, my parents always said we were so active, really early. My dad had, dreams of being, Olympic athletes because of he was crazy. But, I had, this rug that would come, it was bigger circles and then come down to, a smaller one. And, my parents would always find me, climbed out of that, sitting in, the circle just in the middle of the room, chilling.
Are you a twin?
No. I have an older brother. But yeah. I was supposed to be a twin. And then,
oh, really?
Yeah.
And how much older is your brother?
He's only 3 years older, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. So what's it like being a little sibling?
It's kind of fun. I mean, he's not, the stereotypical, me and big brother. Because, he doesn't... It sounds bad when I say this, but, he doesn't really talk that much. He's just a quiet person, yeah. So... The relationship had always been, me bugging him to try and, get him to, say words and, actually interact. But, no, he's always been, really good and, there for me, for, advice or just, driving me places. Or,
yeah, that's essential. I remember when my sister had to do that for me, too. So what kind of kid were you like in elementary school? What were, your elementary school years?
Oh, wow. I kind of hated elementary school.
Oh, why?
I don't know. It was just, I always, read above my grade level, so I got kind of, bored in classes and stuff, and, I don't know, I didn't really like my school because it was, a very, very, conservative... Catholic middle school.
Oh, okay.
And I was just I didn't fit the mold.
Yeah.
So.
In what ways didn't you fit in?
Well, I mean, my family was the only liberal family in the school.
Okay.
So when I remember when Obama ran, my mom and I definitely helped with his campaign, and I went to call centers with her, and I had an Obama pin on my backpack, and I remember people ripping it off. Because it was just they were how dare you not support the king? And I was I don't like him.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness.
But it was just
yeah.
So it was stupid stuff like that. And then, I don't know, it was just not a fun time. I really loved my 8th grade English teacher, though. Because she had us read a bunch of really good books, The Handmaid's Tale and certain stuff like that.
I love The Handmaid's Tale. Have you watched the Hulu version of it yet?
I'm waiting until I get home, but...
My friend gave me a link, so I'm waiting till after my exams to watch it. So you said reading was a big part of your growing up. What was one of the most formative kind of texts that you encountered?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, because my mom, she works as an art director of a children's, publishing branch of HarperCollins.
Oh, wow.
So, I was always, I would always go into work with her and, help her kind of with stuff. And, it'd always be, books from her, division that I was reading. And, I think the first book that, really made me feel, a lot of emotion was... the year, the swallows left early, I think that was the name of it. But it was just about, how this girl's, dad just, left. And it was, I couldn't, imagine it. And it was just it was very moving for, a children, well, not a children's, but, for, a tween book.
Yeah. How old were you when you read it?
I think I was, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting. And this is, this was before it was published that you were reading it?
I was reading Bengali, yeah.
That's so cool. So, what parts of your parents do you see in yourself? And how do you feel about that?
Well, I have my dad's humor, which I actually really like, because I think it's... Because I can basically, laugh at, anything, which is nice. I mean, a lot of people sometimes don't get my jokes, but also I think that's the funny part of it.
Yeah.
Then it's when they do get it, they're wow. I have my mom's artistic ability, which is nice. I wish I had her cleaning skills.
I think those can be learned.
Yeah, I don't know. But I definitely, I don't know, and like I got like I think like my groundedness from my dad, because he's always very like stable, and my mom's kind of more like out there when something like wrong goes, like when something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And he's just, I don't know, he's always been like a steady rock, and I've always wanted to be that. So like I hope that I can be like that one day. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How describe 10-year-old Erin?
Ooh.
Right. What was she wearing? Erin. Like, what was her?
I was either in my school uniform or in soccer clothes, because that was my life. I was like unaware of the fact that like fashion was a thing, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even think I owned a pair of jeans until like high school. Like it just wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really like. I didn't have many friends, so like I didn't like go out or like do anything.
Like, go out as a 10.
Yeah. I mean, like go over to people's houses.
Yeah.
Like if I did, it was for a project, so then it'd be like right after school, and we'd all still be in our clothes, like our uniforms. So it was like I was like really connected with my football team or like my soccer team, and that was always like the highlight of like my week, was like going out to like games on Sunday and just like playing.
Was this a school team or a club or like a
travel team?
Travel team. Oh, cool. Yeah. What position did you play?
Sweeper.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Do you still play that today? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. No, for sure. What was soccer for you? That's a really weird question.
No, I know what you mean. It was kind of like an outlet, because it was like no one really like. You were judged solely like by the way you played, and that was it. Mm-hmm. It was more of, and it was like a team thing, so like you relied on each other, and it was never like a pointing fingers kind of thing. So it was quite nice, and like I was on the same team since I don't even know when. I think when I joined, I was around like 8 until like I was a freshman in high school.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah, like we stayed together for a really long time.
Yeah. What are your biggest lessons that you learned from soccer, football? Feels weird saying soccer.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it sounds weird.
I guess patience and like
that's an interesting one.
Relying on other people.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not really good at that.
Wait, expand more on patience, because that's not normally one I've heard or associated with my own experience.
Well, the way that like it was always explained to me was that like it's kind of as if you were like planning like a battlefield kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So you have to like make sure that you're making like the right moves at the right time, and like you can't always just like run at them. Like you have to wait, and like you have to kind of like anticipate like moves ahead of time. So it's like you have to be like, you can't like put all your cards out on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I played for like 17 years and I've never gotten that point of view. That's awesome. Did you go to the same was your elementary school and middle school as well?
Yeah, so I was in that same school from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for high school, did you go to a private high school or public high school?
No, I convinced my parents to let me go to a public high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the biggest change between the two?
Well, the high school I went to was like performing arts high school. Ooh. So that was like a big thing, and it was also like a year or two after like the last High School Musical movie came out, and people were like, it's not gonna be like High School Musical. It was a lot like High School Musical. Like there were always people singing in the hallways. So I guess it was like a good shock, because it was this really like open atmosphere, and I was like so not used to it.
Yeah.
But it was like fantastic.
What you said that you get your artistic ability from your mom and you went to performing arts school. What's your creative outlet of choice?
So I you had to audition to like get in. So I auditioned as an art major. And I got in for that, for the fine arts. And we had to take like classic art classes, and then also more like abstraction ones, and I picked that up like really quickly, and I really loved doing that because I liked manipulating.
Abstract? Yeah, okay.
Like manipulating the way that like people normally see things and kind of just like giving it like a different twist. I always find that so much more sense to me than when I'm drawing things realistically. Because I feel like even when you're like trying to draw realistically and like people are saying, wow, it looks just like that, it never really looks like it, I think, is the real thing. Like it's...
There's always some distance or...
it's like an imitation, but like if you abstract it, it's its own thing.
Yeah. Like I'm going to totally butcher the French on this, but the painting, the Ceci Noon Peep.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the exact thing you're describing. Do you still draw and paint today?
Yeah, I try to.
Yeah. Is it hard to find time?
Yeah, I think because it was so structured that it was like, I have exactly at least an hour and a half every day to like paint and draw, and that like I would always have deadlines that I was having to meet, so now it's like weird that I don't have like that motivation behind it.
Do you like it better or worse, having kind of the freedom to choose when you express yourself artistically?
I like it, but I don't know, I kind of miss having that like deadline to like push me.
Yeah. To force you to make the time. Yeah. So how did you come to decide to study social anthro and IR?
Through
all this.
Quite different.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
So, I don't know, because my family was always like, you should be an artist, like go to art school, like go do something with that, and like, but I always wanted to like make a difference, as like cheesy as that sounds.
No, it's not cheesy at all.
And it always like, I don't know, like you would always see things where it's like people in other countries, like depending on their gender, like their economic status, like they couldn't always go to school, and I found that like to be the most like ridiculous thing ever, because it was like school is one of those things that was like you have to go to school, and I was like, right, so
it's just a given to us.
So that's kind of what I want to do. Like I want to work with NGOs on like breaking down those barriers and like making sure that people can do that. So I figured this was like the best way, because you need both like the political and the cultural understanding to like do it.
Yeah. So before moving on to full uni experience, what was kind of your biggest takeaway from high school then? Going to a performing arts school, but then also having that kind of social action drive.
I don't know.
Or completely unrelated to that. Just
I think my biggest takeaway is probably just like that like things are like happen for a reason. I feel like that's something, like a lesson that I've learned so many times. And like even if it's like horrible things that happen, it's still like for a reason, because then like it teaches you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think that's because things will just like work themselves out, like, and it's not like they have to like last ditch effort, but it's more of like they have to, because that's like the law of the universe.
Yeah. That's true. Also, just bringing it back, because I think this is a fun question. I haven't asked anyone yet, but I wanted to. Do you remember a favorite birthday or celebration you had growing up? Or a notable one?
Ooh. Probably, my birthday's in the summer, so we always did like a beach thing down like at our beach club, and like it was always just kind of like a nice wind down, I guess, to like the beginning, like the end of the summer, beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
And one time my mom made like this cake. I think I was, I had to be like 7, I guess. My mom made this Barbie cake, and it was like the only Barbie that I'd ever had where its head was like still intact.
She stuck the Barbie in the cake, or like,
so the mold was made so that like the cake was like the dress of the Barbie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was like, and I remember being so like wow, like it has its head. Like,
why didn't your Barbies have heads?
Because my brother found them like really creepy, and for some reason thought them headless was like a lot less creepy. Makes so much sense. That's so funny. Gosh. Casually played with headless Barbies.
You just like didn't pop the heads back on? No, so was there a bucket of Barbie heads in your house? Yeah. Oh, there was?
Yeah, there was like a drawer of them, because like My mom was like, oh, we'll always just, like, hot glue them back on, but, like, we never got around to them. I think we honestly might still have it.
I was going to ask, is it
yeah.
still there? You'll take someone, like, new home to meet your family, and they'll discover a drawer of Barbie heads. Walk straight back out. Yeah. That does require some explanation.
Yeah.
How does where you grew up shape your identity?
Well, that's a good question. Well, New Jersey is normally, like, a very kind of, like, more, like, liberal, like, do whatever you want if it makes you happy kind of state.
Mm-hmm.
But Monmouth County is, the county that I grew up in is, like, very conservative. So I feel like it's always been that kind of, like, I don't even know, like, a push between, like, what, like, my neighbors were saying and I guess, like, what I believed. But, like, without, but also because of that, like, I've had the opportunity, I guess, to, like, experience both sides. Because, like, both my parents are, like, involved with politics, like, in their own way. And my dad always leaned more conservative. So, like, he would take me to, like, different, like, Republican things. And my mom would take me to, like, Democrat things and, like, let me make my own decisions in that way. Because I always thought it was, like, important to, like, treat my brother and I as we were, like, adults. Even when, like, we obviously when we're enough age to. But he was, like, because you need to be, like, informed and, like, you need to know things.
Yeah. How did you create, or how did you decide what you believed, having seen both sides, especially at such a young age?
I think it came down more to, like, fairness and, like, just what, like, seemed right. Like, it was just, like, a kind of, like, gut feelings that was, like, I believe in this and, like, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what age that kind of happened? Or was it just always?
I think it was just kind of like an always kind of thing. Like, I was a very opinionated child.
I love it.
Like, my brother was always so quiet, and I was just always so, like, more outspoken, and just kind of, like, telling you about, like, my day, and telling you all of my thoughts, and, like, everything that I learned, and everything I didn't like about that, and, like, and, yeah. I mean, my dad always tells me stories about how, like, Colin would always do, like, be, like, textbook perfection, and then I would, like, somehow find the way to, like, get to the same exact answer, like, get 100%, but, like, go about it the most obscure way. Yeah. And he was just like, I don't understand.
That's awesome, though. That's such a valuable trait to have, is creative thinking and being outspoken. How did you deal with people that had different views than you, especially growing up through a Catholic school, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. Like, as long as they weren't... I mean, it was fine as long as people were, like, acting nicely to each other. If it was, like, a... Yeah. I mean, like, one big thing that I wish I knew about sooner was since the school was so conservative, like, they didn't teach us about, like, we didn't have sex ed, like, we had, like, true love waits kind of thing, where it was just, like,
abstinence. Yeah.
And they're like, if you have, like, sex before, like, you're married, or, like, if you, they're like, if you, have a partner before you're married, then you'll never be able to have babies again. And I was just, like, I remember, like, thinking about that, and I was like, that makes no sense. But I had no, like, prior knowledge, and I wasn't going to, like, go home and, like, Google it. Like, that felt weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, eh. But, they never taught us, like, about, like, different sexualities and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, like, I remember when Adam Lambert, like, came out, people were like, oh my god, like, we can't listen to him, like, ever again. And I was like, wait, why? And they're like, he's gay. And I had, like, no idea what that meant. And I was like,
oh, really?
Oh?
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, what's that? And they're like, he wears eyeliner. So then I was like, what? Like, I was like, that makes you gay? And then I was like, I just remember, like, never wearing eyeliner because I was
really?
like,
oh, that's so weird.
And, like, it was weird because, like, I, like, sought knowledge but, like, did not at the same time because, like, I regret, like, not Googling, like, things like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just, like...
Not doing your own research kind of thing.
But then, high school was, like, a total wake-up call with that because then it was, like... Yeah.
Well, they're just a more diverse group of people. And...
Yeah, and then it was, like... it was also easier to just, like, come to terms with, like, myself, like, in that environment as well, which was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. How did growing up like that, how does it shape what you think about today's politics and speaking to people on a bipartisan level?
I think people can be quite childish when other people don't agree with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, like... And I don't really think it's... I might be biased, but I don't think it's, like, a millennial-driven issue. Because when I look at the news and I see people that are, like, yelling at each other just because they don't agree on, like, certain issues, it's always, like, these grown men or, like, that are just yelling stupid things at each other, and it just doesn't, like, that's not gonna solve anything because you both look dumb.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, like, express your ideas in, like, a way that doesn't, like, put other people down, because then no one's gonna, like, change their views like you want them to.
Did you see that Budweiser or Heineken ad? I think it was. Yeah. What did you think of that?
I really loved it. I thought that was really smart, and I thought it was a good clapback to, like, the Pepsi one. And when they showed, like, the first guy where he was, like, started walking away, but then he was, like, joking, my heart broke.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Because I was like, oh my god, no, like, please sit down and, like, talk. Yeah. And even some people are like, oh, it's just for the beer. And I'm like, but even then, like, they're still gonna be talking. Like, they're not just gonna be sitting there in silence.
It's a very effective ad, number one.
Yeah.
But also just, I think it opened my eyes to like, how closed off I would be. Because if I had heard any of their testimonials beforehand, I think I would have a very hard time coming to that table. But do you find those conversations easy to have, or?
I mean, they're never easy to have, but I think they're necessary.
Are you comfortable, like, having those conversations or engaging with people that don't share your views?
My family's pretty divided that way. So, like, those issues, like,
so
they come up pretty often. Like, for, like, the longest time, my dad was like people, like, gay people or, like, bisexual people, like, they just don't exist, which was, like, really hard for me, because, like, I identify as bi. So then I was like, I'm, like, right here, like, I obviously exist. Like,
and in the flesh, right here.
You helped birth me. Like, so that was always, like, a big thing, and I think I've helped him, like, I guess, come to terms with just, like, that there are other things out there. I mean, probably not to the extent that would be great, but but yeah.
Did you formally come out to him, or?
I kind of came out to my parents as an accident, because my dad was going on one of his rants, like, at one of the dinners, and I just kind of got, like, I had a hard day, and I just, like, kind of blurted it out, and they were like, what? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's fine. And it was, like, a very public setting too. This was actually this summer. Like, right before I left. So, yeah.
And what was the reaction?
He actually didn't talk to me for a little bit.
Really?
Which was, like, I don't know if he did that on purpose or if he was just, like, uncomfortable. Ooh, these are, like,
I know, yeah, you can I know. It's a revelation.
Yeah. I don't know if he just, like, did it on purpose or if he, like, just didn't know what to say, because he's not really, like, good with, like, touchy-feely stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And have you since had those conversations, and has it gotten easier to speak about, or is it just something you don't?
I mean, it's more just, like, he'll like, say things where he's like, you know, I'll love you no matter what kind of thing. I'm like, like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet, though.
Yeah. He's a good egg.
Oh. So, changing gears a little bit, but what informed your decision to come to St. Andrews? What led you here?
I was always, like, kind of obsessed with the idea of, like, getting out and, like, traveling. So when it was, like, I just graduated 8th grade, and it was the summer going to my freshman year, and, we were taking my dog for, like, a checkup at the vet, and the vet's son was just about to start his first year here, and he jokingly asked me, like, oh, have you thought about college yet? And my mom was like, she's just in high school, like, why are you asking me this? And I was like, I know I want to study abroad, like, one day, and he was like, for 4 years or just a semester? And I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm down for anything.
You're like, what? 4 years?
I was like, 4 years? Yeah, no biggie. My mom was like, Erin, stop. And he was like, you should look into St. Andrews. And I remember I, like, went home, Googled it. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, it's like Hogwarts. They have robes. Like, and my mom was like, okay. And both my parents, I guess, kind of thought that I was going to, like, forget about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And it had always been, like, my dream then since they're, like, come. Because then, like, throughout high school, then I started to realize, like, what I wanted to study. And then I realized that they had this huge program in IR and one in social after, and I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I'm supposed to go. My parents were like, well, you still have to apply to other schools as well. Like,
yeah.
No. They were the first school, the second school I heard back from, and I immediately pulled my applications after I heard back from them. Yeah. Because I was like, this is it. Like, I'm done.
I love that. That's great.
But yeah, my parents were like, don't you ever wonder, like, where you could have gotten in? And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I still would have gotten here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that. So what were your first impressions in, like, the first month of school? What was that transition like for you?
I realized how loud Americans actually are. Like, there was always that stereotype, and I was like, yeah, I guess we talk louder.
It's true.
And I was like, oh, God, like, we talk really loud. Like, I guess, I don't know why I had, like, a different assumption about, like, the drinking culture being different here than, like, in the States. It's not, like, that different. The only difference is that, like, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Which was kind of, like, I don't know, I think it was kind of more of just, like, kind of a letdown, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't really, like, feel comfortable drinking, and then I was, like, super worried that, like, all social situations would be like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. But I guess one of, like, things that I really liked was that my parents were, like, they were like, you know, if you don't actually like it, like, after the first few months, like, we can make this work. Like, we can transfer you next year, and, like, that everything will be fine. And I think it was just reassuring to know how much, like, I actually did love being here.
Yeah.
So to, like, call them and be like, no, I'm staying.
Yeah.
It's good.
Aw. Do you drink now, or do you still?
Yeah, I drink now, but I don't, like, I've still, like, never gotten drunk or anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's always just, like,
a social drink. Yeah, kind of thing. Because
I don't want to be, like, I don't trust myself, I guess, to, like, not be in control.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. What halls are you in?
I'm in DRI.
Okay, how are you finding it?
I really like having my own room, and I like having a double bed for the first time, because that's, like...
I don't even have one.
Yeah. They're, like, really big, and they're really nice. And you can, like, have your laptop there, and then, like, your body in one spot. It's just perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's... The only thing that's, like, not perfect about it is that it's far away. But I feel like everything else is so great that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of things are you involved in besides academics here?
I'm involved in the football club.
Yeah.
I'm, like, kind of involved in, like, the art society, but I never, like, paid my membership, so I don't know. Yeah. I was like, but yeah, I'm, like, kind of involved with the Catholic Society, but I think, I don't know, that's always been, like, a very, like, touchy issue.
Do you identify as Catholic? Like, do you follow the religion? I
don't know. Like, I go to Catholic church, but, like, I feel like my ideals...
every Sunday?
Not every Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I try to do every Sunday, but yeah. But, like, my ideals line up more with, like, Presbyterian. And I brought it up to my mom once, and she was like, what do you mean? Like, you want to switch? And I was like, oh, never mind. Like, just wanted to see what you would say.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Are both of your parents Catholic, then?
No, my dad actually doesn't practice. Like, he thinks that religion is, like, mumbo-jumbo.
Okay.
And he's like, but your mom likes it, so we go to church. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
What do you like most about the Catholic Church? Or just Christianity in general? Doesn't have to be denominational.
I don't really know if I like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I think it's more like I do it out of, like, habit, and it kind of, like, is
it's kind of cultural.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me nowadays, but...
Like, I really don't like my church back home. Like, it's pretty, but, like, I don't like the pastor, and, like, I don't like, just because it's at, like, my old middle school, so I'm like, so much bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrapped up in that.
I mean, people, like, one of my friends has asked me that before. They're like, why do you still go to church? I'm like, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what brings you back
I think
most Sundays?
Probably just the fact that I get a text from my mom being like, I'm ready to go to church. And I'm like, oh.
Do you find comfort in religion, or?
I mean, sometimes I do, but like when I do, it's very short-lived because it's like I don't necessarily believe that there's like a God up there, but like there has to be like something pulling some strings.
Yeah.
Just because like certain things just wouldn't make sense otherwise. But like,
it's a tough thing to navigate. Yeah. I've yet to figure it out or even try to. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I don't like, I don't know, a lot of people that I know, they're like very religious, they like rely on it for everything, and that like it's just kind of it seems like more of like an escape and like more of like an excuse for like why things are going bad.
Yeah, that's kind of how I found it too as I grew up.
Yeah, and I felt like that just like that's a kind of a cop out.
Yeah. I kind of had like the exact same like set of feelings when I started thinking about it on my own terms. What kinds of things do you want to get involved in St. Andrews that you haven't so far?
I kind of want to get involved in the Archaeology Society just because it seems like a fun thing. Mm-hmm. And, like, I want to, like, if they go on trips, I'd like to explore that, like, side of, like, my degree. I want to get involved more with, like, the football club because, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm a bit of, like, a bystander with that. Oh. Like, I don't go out as much. But, yeah, because they're fun games.
We're a weird bunch. Yeah.
I feel like it's
very
good.
Eclectic.
Yeah. I don't know, like, it all works. Like, all of the different personalities. Like, it's funny how it works
yeah,
out.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I don't know what else.
No, you don't have to know. In what ways do you think you fit into St. Andrews, and in what ways don't you feel you fit in? Don't you feel?
Yeah.
Don't you fit in? I don't know.
I guess, like, I fit in because I guess, like, I'm an American and we're a kind of a big majority here. Mm-hmm. Like, it's 19% of the abroad population is American, which is pretty big. I'm not very preppy. So that's, yeah,
that's a whole section.
Yeah, that's like, no. But then I guess I dress kind of like indie grunge-ish, but also like a normal person. Mm-hmm. So like, I fit in that crowd. I don't know. I think I'm pretty easy. I find it pretty easy to navigate different like social situations. Just because, like, I try not to, like, judge how other people are, like, living. Mm-hmm. So it's just, like, it's pretty easy then to, like, adapt.
Yeah.
To, like, different things that they're doing.
That's a really nice way of looking at it. What do you cherish most about your time at St. Andrews so far?
The really quirky traditions. Like, they make me really happy.
Yeah.
I like how the place, like, the stones that we step on are older than the country I come from. Like, I like that.
There's something so poetic and magical about it. I think about it every time I walk down the street. I
really do. And, like, I like that I'm closer to, like, that I'm closer to Europe and that, like, I'm closer to more of, like, a diverse group of people. Mm-hmm. And I like hearing different languages, like, when I walk down the street. Like, that's probably the favorite part of my day. And I like that because now that I'm closer to these places that I have, like, the opportunity to, like, kind of go and, like, see where, like, people from my family, like, hail from, I guess.
Yeah. That's awesome. Where do they come from? Just out of curiosity.
Scotland.
Yeah.
Ireland and Sweden.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Have you been to any of, or, I mean, you've obviously been to Scotland, but...
The only place in Ireland I've seen is the Dublin airport.
Okay.
Which I don't think they've
It's okay. It's a nice one.
Yeah, whatever. I haven't gone to Sweden yet. That one is actually, it's going to be kind of tricky to go. Because my Nana came from Sweden when she was 14.
Yeah.
And she was, well, she tells a different story every time. But it's either, ranges from the ages like 14 to 18. And she, like, really hates that I'm interested in going there and, like, connecting with the family there. So, like, if I do go, it has to be kind of, like...
Covert.
Yeah. Under lock and key.
It's really pretty country. I've been to Stockholm, but it was gorgeous. So what do you see for yourself in the future?
Oh, geez. I don't see myself going back to the States.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why, I just don't. I see myself traveling a lot, but not necessarily for, like, pleasure. Like, I think it's for business and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah. I don't know. I think I can't figure out yet if I'm, like, if I should be doing, like, a master's program or not. But also, people are like, you have so many years to decide, like, shut up.
It's kind of like the thing when someone asks you when you're going into freshman year.
Yeah.
Like, where do you want to go to college? It's a very similar situation. What's a constant that you see or rely on in your life? Or that you've seen throughout your life? Or
the ocean. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So... like, I live 10 minutes away from the beach at my house, and it's always been, like, a kind of, like, I've always had, like, all the big celebrations. We go to the beach afterwards, or, like, we're there already. Or we just, like, whenever my brother was, like, sad, or, like, I was sad, he would, like, drive me down to the beach, or, like, we would take our dog there, and she absolutely loves it. And it's always been, like, nothing bad can really happen at the beach kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, it's always just been, like, a good, calming thing.
And it's here in St. Andrews, too.
Yeah.
I have, like, a very, like, I grew up by a beach, too. Mm-hmm. It's very similar.
I can never be too far away from it. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, living in, like, a landlocked place. And, like, whenever we go to places that don't have, like, water, even if I don't know they don't have water, I feel get, like, weird. I'm like this. Yeah, the only place that I've liked that's, like, landlocked was Austria. But that's because their lake district is huge. So, like, I kind of felt like... Yeah.
There's still some kind of H2O here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have my last okay. So my last two questions are, what is your value system?
Ooh. Can you expand more on that?
What guides your life?
Okay.
There's a better way of saying.
I don't know. It's always kind of like I think about, like, actions where it's like, would I want someone to do that to me, or, like, that's always been, like, my parents always say, like, be the friend, like, you wish you had kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, I always do that. And then, I don't know, just, like, whatever is, like, kind of first instinct. And to, like, I try not to, like, turn people down when they ask, like, for help with things, because that's, like, it's mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last question, it's kind of daunting, but I always preface it like that. But maybe if I didn't, it wouldn't be. But what's the biggest lesson you've learned from your life so far?
I think the same thing that, like, I guess high school taught me was just, like, things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How does that provide comfort for you?
I think it, like, simultaneously provides comfort and, like, pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because, like, things happen for a reason. Like, you'll get into the school, like, you're meant to be at, and, like, you'll meet the people that will, like, shape you, or, like, you'll shape them. It's always, like, that kind of thing. But it's also just kind of, like, if you didn't do that, like, if you didn't take that turn, of, like, you didn't bump into that person, then, like, you would have never met them, which is, like, good and bad. Because, like, I met someone my first, like, the freshers week here, just because her mom bumped into me on the street, and they had, like, no idea where they were going. And because, like, she, like, bumped into me, she was like, oh, actually, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And so then I met her, but, like, we have no classes together. Like, none of our social circles are the same. Like, I just wouldn't have met her. And it's like...
kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, like, she's one of my best friends. Like,
yeah.
I never would have known her.
Yeah. Especially as creatures of control, I find that, like, most humans are. Yeah. To realize so much of it is out of our control.
Yeah, so
and yet
much
we
is up to chance.
Just don't think of it that way. I think we have a lot more control than we do.
I think people would go crazy if they didn't at least give themselves that, like, illusion.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because I think that's why I think that's why people rely so heavily with, like, religion or different like, just beliefs in different things.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, like, if I don't have, like, control over my life, then, like, this guy does. So if I pray to him enough times, like, if I give money to this place, then, like, I'll be good. Like, which, who knows? Maybe that is true. Like, maybe I'll be damned for
who's the wiser
not giving money. But, like, also, what if that's all, like, a joke? So, yeah. And I think that, like, people are just very interesting to, like, look at when, like, their belief systems and stuff. That's why I think this is so cool.
Thanks. And that's why I like doing it too. I don't know. I learn something from every person I talk to. Yeah. And you find so many similarities with people that you're like, well, what?
Yeah.
Like, we're all so similar. I mean, we're all very different. It's that, like, weird dichotomy of there's never a right way to characterize it.
I think also why the, like, everything happens for a reason is kind of, like, not very comforting. Sorry, just, like,
no, go for it.
But it's because it's always things you don't want to happen can happen, and it's always just like, why?
Yeah.
So,
do you think the why is important?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, certain things it's stupid to, like, question because you can't, like, change it, but it's still important to, like, question what's going on. Because you're not going to have, like, a full understanding, or, like, you're not going to be able to, like, get over it kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything that you didn't talk about that you want to?
I don't know, like, what kind of stuff?
I don't know, like, a part of your life, or, like, a topic of anything. I don't know.
I don't know, I guess this is, like, one of the first places I felt, like, super happy at. So that's, like, nice that, like, it's exceeding its expectations. So, yeah.
That's so lovely. Aw. Cool.